Hey guys, back with Generation 3. I think Generation 3 is the start of when Pokemon really started to get pretty good. I really enjoyed the Generation 3 games, especially Emerald is one of my favorite Pokemon games. We'll start with the S tier. Zoom in a little bit here. Swampert, him and Charizard are the two best starters in my opinion in all of Pokemon. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. Water ground, like I've said in the previous videos, amazing typing. Very solid Pokemon, will do whatever you need to do. Somewhat bulky, good special attack, good physical attack. Just quintessential playthrough Pokemon. Slacking, probably my favorite Pokemon. I love sloths as animals. I like the design philosophy. He has really crazy stats, but he has a hindering ability, which is a fun mini game to work around when using the Pokemon. His Under Evolution Vigoroth with an Eviolite, I swept through most of the game of Oros. I played Alpha Sapphire specifically, and you just power up punch and slack off, and oh my god, does it just roll everything. Awesome, awesome line. Aggron, I'm not the biggest fan of actually using this Pokemon in game, but it's one of the coolest designed Pokemon, I think, in the entire franchise. That's why it's an S tier. Rock Steel is a cool type. It's just, yeah, it's very situational when it's going to be good. Milotic, also a very cool designed Pokemon, and it's a very good Pokemon to use. Very stally, can do a lot. Walrein, also a very cool Pokemon. I like ice water types. Just good overall type. I prefer Lapras's design and UK use case more, but I think Walreign's more useful as an actual in-game playthrough Pokemon. Rayquaza, I think by far the best legendary Pokemon. I'm not a big fan of legendaries. I don't find them fun to use in game, but I do like grabbing this guy in Emerald. He makes the Elite Four breeze, but that's only for once in a while. But very cool design. One of the best shinies, if not like the best shiny in all of Pokemon. Salamence shares the same flying dragon type as Rayquaza here. Very cool pseudo. One of my favorites, if not my favorite pseudo legendary as well. He just is what I think a dragon Pokemon should look like. And I like both its abilities as well. They're very fun. Just wish you could get them earlier in the game in the Hoenn games. A tier, the other two Hoenn starters, both of them are very cool. I think they're both very useful as well if you're going to use them in a playthrough. Can't go wrong with any of the three starters of this gen. I have both Kyogre and Groudon in A tier. Also, both amazing cover legendaries. I mean, the Ella, the Sky, Water, and Ground trio is very cool. Mightyena, I think it's pretty underrated Pokemon. Its stats aren't amazing, which hinders it a little bit, but I always enjoy using this guy when I play through the games. Metagross, probably the second, or no, he's probably the third worst pseudo for me. I just don't enjoy him that much. I think Gen 6 onward, he especially got hit hard with the whole Steel rework, but cool Pokemon nonetheless, just hard to catch. Pelipper and Torkoal are both here because of their ability to set the weather, so I find them very fun to use in a playthrough on a rain team or a sun team. So I think that's also cool. Gardevoir, good coverage. Just a solid Pokemon overall. You can't go wrong with it. I'm not the biggest fan of it in Generation 3, but I like it in Generation 6 onward when it gets the Fairy type. because fairy type is super strong. Sharpedo. This guy is really cool looking, and he's pretty strong, both physically and especially. He's just pretty frail, but I'm fine with that. Cool Pokemon nonetheless. Exploud. I think it's a great design. Pure normal types is one of the better types in the game, in my opinion. Just weak to thing, very little weaknesses. When he learns Boom Burst in the later generations, holy, does he hit hard. Cool Pokemon. Zangoose also pure normal type with a really high attack stat. He's just very solid, a single form Pokemon. Can't go wrong with him. These are all great Pokemon. B tier, none of these guys are bad. It's just they're competing with some harder competition compared to the first couple generations. Linoon, fun Pokemon. You can belly drum with him or use him as an HM slave. Either way, not a bad team member. Swallow Line, I enjoy it. He can really clap through the game if you like pre poison him or pre burn him with guts. Guts facade. He'll just decimate things. Breloom. Grass fighting is an interesting type. You can learn Spore. You just kind of, there's not, like, if you're not starting with Blaziken, there's not very many fighting types in the game. So, here's his direct competition for another fighting type. If we look, there's just not much for fighting types. Metacham, I think that's it, so. That's what makes him good. Um, Wailord. Cool design. Functionally, so-so. Not the hugest fan of him in a playthrough, but if you can get a water spout up with this guy in the rain, he will decimate whatever you fight. Camerupt, he's higher because of the lack of fire types in this generation. A lot of gens have a problem of lack of fire types. That's why Blaziken's so high here. I mean, there's Torkoal and I think you can get Meg Cargo, and that's it. I think those are the only fire types in the entire game, so he's a little bit higher because of that. Um, Altaria would be a little higher if these two didn't exist. His stat spread is more defensive, which is okay. It's just not a very fun playthrough Pokemon, I guess. Castform. He's kind of cute. I like his little ball sack on his chest. I think it's kind of a funny design. Yeah, I like his gimmick. It's a fun Pokemon. He's not super strong. He's just fun. Kecleon, same thing as Castform. Not a great Pokemon. Pretty good special defense. It's just he's middle of the road. His stats are pretty middling. I like his ability. It's kind of neat. C tier. Pretty neutral these guys. Excuse me. I'm not a big fan of the Reggies as I haven't really ever used any of them. I've went and caught them, but I've never really used many of them. I think their designs are solid, but overall middle of the road. In Omega Ruby, this guy was my HM slave, but other than that, I'm neutral towards the designs. They're a little bit too strong for me to use at a playthrough. Rest of these guys I'm kind of neutral to. I don't got many strong feelings for most of these guys. Are just kind of exist. D tier. Not a fan of any of these guys. I don't think I would use any of these guys in a playthrough, like, willingly. Absol's kind of cool. I just don't like pure dark as a type. I think it kind of hinders a Pokemon. Tropius. This one's weird for me. Grass Flying is kind of a neat type, and I like his design. I just wish his stats were a little better. The rest of these guys are just kind of meh. I don't like Manetric. I wish he was a little bit better. As a pure electric type, I think he's kind of like Ampharos to where he doesn't have any crazy good coverage or niche like some of the later pure electric types. F tier, mythical Pokemon, not a fan. Horrible Pokemon, horrible Pokemon. Boring to use, especially with an Eviolite, just boring. Bad Pokemon, bad, bad, bad. Yeah, he shouldn't be in here. He's pre-evolution to these guys, to this guy, so he must have got put there in accident. Bad, or just I don't like pure poison as a type very much. I think this guy looks cooler than this guy. It's the only reason that Plusle gets to escape mining. Mobile, horrible stats. I just I think its typing is cool in Gen 6 onwards. Steel Fairy is a cool type. It's just a horrible Pokemon. I don't like the Ninja Escaline. He's gimmicky and, well, he's fast. That's about it. And then I hate the way Ludicolo looks. But yeah, that's Generation 3. Very strong generation. It's pretty well balanced. There's a lot of crappy Pokemon to balance out the really good Pokemon. So, I'll catch you guys in Generation 4.